What if I told you that the greatest healer in existence isn't wearing a white coat in a hospital? What if I told you it doesn't live in the herbs of a shaman, nor in the blessings of priests, nor even in the hands of the gods themselves? The truth is unsettling, because the greatest healer has been with you all along. It's you. Deep inside your body, there lies a force, mysterious, untapped, and forbidden in the eyes of ancient rulers. A force so powerful, it can knit wounds, dissolve pain, and restore balance where chaos once lived. The Egyptian god of wisdom, Thoth, knew of this hidden power. He spoke of a technique, a practice so secret that it was never meant to be written, only whispered from teacher to initiate. A practice designed to awaken what most people never realize they have, the body's own ability to heal itself. This wasn't magic in the way people imagine it. It wasn't superstition, it was something far greater, a science of the soul. But here's the shocking part. Very few will ever learn it, because the world doesn't want you to. The technique was considered forbidden, because if you could heal yourself, you wouldn't need the priests, you wouldn't need the temples, you wouldn't even need their gods. And that kind of freedom, that was dangerous. But today, I'm going to share it with you. Thoth taught that man is a microcosm of the universe. To him, you were not just flesh and bone, you were a reflection of the stars. Every rhythm of the cosmos, the rising of the sun, the pull of the moon, the dance of the planets, was mirrored within you. Your heartbeat was the drum of the universe. Your breath was the wind of creation. Your blood was the flowing Nile. And your soul was the spark of the eternal flame itself. That is why Thoth said, every law that governs the heavens also governs your cells, your blood, and your spirit. When you suffer disease, it is not the wrath of a god, nor a curse from outside, it is an imbalance. Just as storms are born when the sky loses its balance, or earthquakes rumble when the earth's harmony is disturbed, your body too falls into sickness when it strays from its natural rhythm. And here lies the secret most of the world has forgotten. The body does not want to be sick. The body knows how to heal itself. A cut will close, a bone will knit. Even the smallest cell fights for survival. But this natural intelligence is often drowned out by stress, by fear, by the noise of a restless mind. Thoth revealed that the forbidden technique was not some miracle potion or ritual sacrifice. It was far more subtle, far more dangerous in its simplicity. It was awareness, pure awareness, the forgotten art of turning inward, silencing the chaos of the outer world and listening to the wisdom within. The Egyptians called it Heka, creative life energy. Not just magic as it is often mistranslated, but the very force of creation itself. The same energy that makes the sun rise and rivers flow also runs through your body, waiting to be directed. To awaken this force, you don't need temples or prayers, you need to see. To become so deeply aware of yourself that your very presence commands healing. Awareness, Thoth taught, is the most powerful medicine. Because when the mind is still, when the soul is aligned, the body remembers its ancient blueprint, wholeness. 1. The breath of Ma'at. The first step of Thoth's forbidden technique was known as the breath of Ma'at. To understand its power, you must first understand what the ancients meant by Ma'at. Ma'at was not merely a goddess of truth and justice. She was balance itself. She was the invisible order that kept the stars from colliding, that kept the Nile from overflowing, that kept the seasons turning in perfect rhythm. Without Ma'at, there was only chaos. And Thoth, the scribe of the gods, the keeper of wisdom, taught that this principle of Ma'at lived inside you. That balance was not only something to be seen in the heavens or in the kingdom, it was the very force that kept your body alive. And the key to restoring that balance was breath. He told his initiates, breath is the river of the soul. As the Nile nourishes the land, so breath nourishes the body, and as the Nile floods when it is disturbed, so too does the body when breath is shallow. Most of humanity, then and now, breathes as if they are half dead. Quick, shallow, unconscious gulps of air, chest rising, shoulders tight, minds restless. This way of breathing keeps the body in a state of constant fight, as if every moment were a battlefield. It drains the spirit, ages the body, and invites imbalance to take root. Thoth knew this, and so he instructed his followers to learn the breath of Ma'at. They were told to sit in stillness, feet grounded, spine tall, like the pillar of Jed, the symbol of strength and stability, eyes half closed, as if gazing inward. and then to breathe. But not as ordinary men breathe. They were taught to draw the breath deeply, not into the chest but into the belly, to feel the stomach expand like fertile earth, drinking the floods of the Nile, to inhale not as if gasping for survival, but as if receiving life itself as a sacred gift. Each inhale was long, steady, and full. Each pause was gentle, a moment suspended between worlds, and each exhale was slow, smooth, deliberate, as though centuries of sorrow, pain, and chaos were leaving with every breath. Inhale through the nose, fill the belly, hold, honor the pause, exhale slowly, completely, without force. The more they practiced, the more they began to notice something miraculous. At first it was subtle. The mind began to quiet, the restless river of thoughts slowed, the body softened, tension in the shoulders released, the heart slowed its frantic rhythm, and then, something deeper began to awaken. With each calm breath, they felt their blood circulate differently, their nerves stopped screaming, their very cells seemed to awaken, listening to the rhythm of the breath, like soldiers standing at attention before their commander. This was no ordinary breathing, this was command over chaos. Thoth revealed that the breath is the bridge between body and spirit. It is the thread that ties the flesh to the soul. When the breath is shallow, spirit and body are disconnected, the soul cannot reach its vessel. But when the breath is deep, smooth, and balanced, the soul flows into every cell. Modern science has only recently begun to catch up to what Thoth knew thousands of years ago. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of healing, restoration, and calm. The body leaves fight or flight and enters repair. The immune system strengthens, stress hormones fade, the heart beats in harmony with the breath. But Thoth did not explain this with charts or science. He explained it with truth. As long as your breath is shallow, your life will be shallow. But when your breath flows deep and calm, your soul becomes one with Ma. And where there is Ma, there is no sickness. This was the first step of the forbidden technique. Not to chant, not to potion, not to sacrifice, but breath, sacred breath. For if you can master the breath, you can master the mind. And if you can master the mind, you can master the body. The breath of Ma was more than just oxygen entering the lungs. It was a ritual of remembrance, a return to the truth that life itself is carried in every inhale. That healing begins not with something outside you, but with the very air you breathe. So when you practice this, do not rush it. Sit in stillness, inhale like you are drinking from the Nile of eternity. Hold that life within you, even for a moment, as though it were the most sacred treasure. And then exhale like you are releasing centuries of weight you were never meant to carry. Do this until the noise in your mind falls silent. Do this until your breath is no longer something you control, but something that carries you. Do this until you feel your body hum with balance once more. This is the breath of Ma, the first key to awakening the healer that has always lived inside you. 2. The inner word. The second step of Thoth's forbidden technique was called the inner word. Thoth, as the god of wisdom and writing, understood something most humans still overlook. Words are not just sounds. They are commands. They are spells. They are the building blocks of reality itself. In the temples of Egypt, the scribes were not merely record keepers, they were magicians. They knew that to name something was to give it life, to shape it, to command it. And Thoth, the great scribe of the gods, carried this truth further. Every word you speak within yourself is a command to your body, your mind, and your soul. Think of how often you curse yourself without even realizing it. I am tired. I am weak. I am broken. I am sick. You whisper these words to yourself, and your cells obey. They do not argue. They do not resist. They simply follow the orders you give them. This is the silent poison most people drink every day, the poison of their own words. And it is why Thoth called the inner word forbidden knowledge, because if you truly understood its power, you would never again speak carelessly about yourself. The practice was deceptively simple. Speak the opposite, not with desperation, not with force, but with calm conviction. Whisper into yourself, I am whole, I am light. My body knows how to heal. At first, it feels like lying. The mind rebels. It says, how can I say I am whole when I feel broken? How can I say I am light when I feel heavy? How can I say I am healing when I am still sick? But this is where most people misunderstand. The inner word is not about describing what you see, it is about commanding what you wish to create. Your words are seeds. The soil is your subconscious mind. Speak in alignment with despair, and despair will grow. Speak in alignment with life, and life will bloom. This is why the Egyptians believed in Heka, creative life energy. Words, spoken with intent, were vessels of Heka. They were bridges between thought and matter, between spirit and flesh. When you whisper, I am whole, you are not lying. You are planting the seed of wholeness in the soil of your being, and seeds, when nourished, grow. At first, your cells will not respond. They are too used to obeying old commands. But with repetition, with gentle persistence, something shifts. The body begins to listen. The nervous system begins to align with these new instructions. Hormones adjust. Stress fades. Energy flows differently. Slowly, the body obeys the words of the master within. This is why Thoth considered careless speech a form of self-destruction. Every time you say, I am tired, I am sick, I am weak, you are reinforcing chains around your own life force. But every time you say, I am strong, I am healing, I am whole, you are breaking those chains and rewriting your destiny. Modern science calls this the placebo effect. Patients given sugar pills heal because they believe they are receiving medicine. Doctors dismiss it as illusion, but what is it really? It is proof that belief commands biology. It is proof that the inner word still works, even when people don't realize they are practicing it. Thoth knew this thousands of years ago. That is why he whispered to his initiates, guard your tongue, for it is the bridge between the seen and unseen. Speak only what you wish to live. The inner word is not a prayer to the gods. It is not begging some higher force to rescue you. It is speaking as the God within yourself, the creator, the commander, the healer. So practice it. Sit in silence after the breath of Ma'at. Let your body be calm, your mind be still, and then speak. Not loudly, not desperately, but softly, with the authority of one who knows. I am whole, I am light. My body knows how to heal. Say it until the words no longer feel like lies. Say it until they vibrate through your chest, until every cell sings in agreement. Say it until your very bones carry the rhythm of those words. For in time, your body will obey. And when it does, you will see what Thoth tried to reveal. The most powerful medicine is not found outside of you. It is the word you speak within yourself. This is the second step of the forbidden technique, the inner word, the secret language of healing. 3. The flame of perception. The third and final step of Thoth's forbidden technique is called the flame of perception. If the breath of Ma restores balance to your body, and the inner word commands your cells to awaken, then the flame of perception is the spark that directs healing energy exactly where it is needed. It is the moment when awareness itself becomes medicine. Thoth taught that attention is not passive. To pay attention is to give energy, to shine the light of your soul onto whatever you look upon. He compared awareness to fire. It can burn, it can destroy, but it can also illuminate and bring warmth. And so he instructed his initiates, where your perception rests, there your power flows. Most people live with scattered attention. Their awareness is fractured, half in the past, half in the future, constantly pulled away by fear, regret, or distraction. This scattering weakens the self. It leaves the body without guidance, like an army with no commander. But when you gather your perception, when you hold it still, and when you direct it with intention, it becomes a flame. And that flame has the power to heal. Here is how it works. Close your eyes. Sit in stillness after practicing the breath of Ma and speaking the inner word. Then gently bring your awareness to the place that hurts. Perhaps it is an ache in the body, or a heaviness in the heart, or a restless storm in the mind. Do not resist it, do not curse it, simply see it. At first, the natural instinct is to recoil. Pain makes us want to look away. We tighten against it, distract ourselves, or numb it. But Thoth taught the opposite, to bring perception to pain with openness, like holding a wounded child in your arms. When you rest your awareness on the wound, not with fear, but with presence, you ignite the flame of perception. The Egyptians believed that this flame was the purest form of Heka, the creative energy of the cosmos. By focusing on the wound, you are not feeding the pain, you are bathing it in light. Science today calls this the spotlight effect of consciousness, where the mind focuses, the body follows. When you direct attention to a part of the body, blood flow increases, healing chemicals are released, and the nervous system recalibrates. But Thoth did not need science to know this. He lived it. He told his students, "Do not run from the wound. Gaze upon it until the wound gazes back, and you will see that it is not your enemy, but your teacher." This is the great paradox of healing. The more you fight your pain, the more it consumes you. But when you see it with clear perception, without judgment, without fear, it begins to dissolve. Because what we look upon with pure awareness cannot remain in shadow. In practice, the flame of perception feels like this. You breathe deeply, you speak the words of power. Then you place your awareness on the pain. You watch it, feel it, honor it, you allow it to exist without resistance. And then slowly, you imagine the flame of your perception, warming it, surrounding it, embracing it. Some initiates described it as a golden light, others as a gentle fire, others as the presence of the divine itself flowing through their hands and heart. But all agreed, the moment they stopped resisting, the moment they brought awareness with love, something changed. The pain lessened, the energy shifted, the body began to heal. Thoth considered this the most sacred step of the technique, because it revealed the final truth. Healing does not come from outside. It comes when you reclaim your perception, when you no longer run from your wounds, but bring the fire of your awareness to them. This is why the technique was forbidden, because a man who knows how to breathe, to speak life into his cells, and to heal through perception, cannot be controlled. He does not need temples, he does not need priests, he does not even need gods. He carries the healer within. The flame of perception is not about curing every illness instantly. It is about remembering your power, to be present, to bring light to darkness, to direct the flow of life energy where it is most needed. It is the final step, the crown of the practice, the fire that makes the body whole. So the next time you feel pain, do not turn away. Breathe, speak, and then shine. Place your awareness on the wound, as if it were sacred, for in truth, it is. It is the place where your body calls out for balance, and your soul answers with light. This is the flame of perception, the third key, the final step, the fire within you that heals. Why was this technique forbidden? To answer this, you must understand the nature of power. For thousands of years, human societies have been built not on freedom but on dependence. Dependence on rulers, dependence on priests, dependence on doctors, kings, and gods. And the greatest control of all is over the body. If you can convince a man that he is broken, that he is weak, that he must come to you for healing, you own him. He will give you his trust. He will give you his gold. He will even give you his soul. Thoth's technique shattered that illusion, because if man learned to heal himself, he would need no priest, no temple, no master. He would not need to beg gods for mercy, nor crawl to priests for forgiveness, nor pay kings for protection. He would discover that the very force of life, the very medicine he sought, had been inside him from the beginning. And what would happen to the power structure then? He would collapse. The pyramids of control would crumble, because a man who knows his own power cannot be enslaved. That is why this knowledge was hidden. Not because it was evil, not because it was dangerous to the soul, but because it was dangerous to authority. Imagine a world where every man, woman, and child knew how to still their mind with breath, command their body with words, and heal their wounds with perception. Imagine a world where sickness was not a business, but a teacher, where healing was not sold, but lived. That world would be ungovernable. And so, the technique was forbidden. It was locked away in symbols and myths, buried in temples, hidden behind rituals, so that only the most persistent seekers could find it. But Thoth, the god of wisdom, never intended for it to be lost. He left it scattered like seeds across time, waiting for those who dared to look within. For those who would not accept the chains of dependence. For those who could see that the greatest temple was not made of stone, but of flesh and spirit. He wanted you to realize a truth so simple, so powerful, that it can change your life the moment you accept it. You were never powerless. The world told you that you are fragile, that you are weak, that you are at the mercy of fate. disease, and death. But Thoth whispered a different message. You are a temple of living energy. Every breath you take is sacred. Every word you speak is a command. Every moment of perception is a flame. You do not need to beg for healing. You do not need to chase it outside yourself. You are the healer you have been waiting for. And this is the forbidden truth. The same divine force that guides the stars also flows through your veins. The same wisdom that shapes the cosmos is written in your cells. The same energy that births galaxies lives in the very core of your being. And so, seeker, the forbidden technique is no myth. It is not locked away in dusty scrolls or guarded by high priests in temples of stone. It lives within you, quiet, patient, waiting to be remembered. The breath, the word, the perception, 3 keys that unlock the hidden chambers of your being. They are simple, yet simplicity is what terrifies the world of power. Because once you realize that healing is not a miracle granted by another, but an ability that flows from your own essence, you become untouchable. Think about it. When your breath is calm, your nervous system bows to harmony. When your words are pure, your cells rearrange themselves to reflect that truth. And when your perception burns bright, you see pain not as a curse, but as a teacher. Illness, heartbreak, exhaustion, all become signals, not shackles. This is why Thoth whispered, not shouted. For if every man and woman practiced this, kings would hold no sway, priests would hold no dominion, and fear would vanish like smoke in the desert wind. You would not be a servant of fate, you would be a co-creator with it. So remember this, you are not broken, you are not weak. You are not waiting for permission to heal. You are already whole, already divine, already carrying the flame. The forbidden truth is not that you can heal yourself. The forbidden truth is that you always could. Now the only question left is, will you dare to practice it? Will you breathe like the Nile, speak like a god, and see with the fire of perception? Or will you hand your power away to those who profit from your forgetting? The choice is yours. But know this, the moment you choose yourself, the healing begins.